Hello, today I'm going to tell you about a perfect album. The artist is T-Rex. The album is Electric Warrior from 1971. The label is Fly in the UK and Reprise in the US. Electric Warrior is the second studio album by the English rock band T-Rex, and it's their sixth album since their 1968 debut as Tyrannosaurus Rex. The band was riding the success of Ride a White Swan. This incarnation of the band was Marc Bolan, Mickey Finn, Steve Curry, and Bill Legend. Probably the best incarnation. Before I get into it, I will also be doing a review of The Slider, the follow-up album to this, so look out for that. But Electric Warrior is a classic. It just is. It helped define glam rock and the early 1970s. Essential listening. I'm only reviewing the original track list, not the Rhino reissue. There are good tracks on that too, but I'm just going to focus on the original album. But Mambo Sun is a great opener. One of the great things about Electric Warrior is that Bolan embraces his inner Chuck Berry. So this is all about simplicity. He takes imagery from fantasy, sci-fi, and pop culture and mixes it together, but he distills it into something fresh. Cosmic Dancer is maybe my favorite track on the album. I put it up there with Ballrooms of Mars from The Slider. It's melancholic but hopeful. It has great lyrics. That's the thing about this, is that Bolan has really stepped up his lyrical output, the quality of them. I feel like the early Tyrannosaurus Rex stuff was a little bit kind of childish. This is almost poetry. You know, in this song, I danced myself right out the womb. I danced into the tomb, right? It just really provokes an image. I don't think he gets enough credit for his songwriting. Maybe Bowie gets more. Jeepster is a great rocker. I love the congas and the foot stomps. People compare the White Stripes to Led Zeppelin, but I think they draw more from T-Rex, and you can definitely hear it here. The imagery is so potent with the sexy car stuff. And I love how he ends it with the vampire suck ya line. It just really works. Monolith is a doo-wop tune. And maybe that's something to note, that the 70s acts drew heavily from the 50s. In modern music, I don't see artists drawing from these rock tropes very often. Doo-wop, boogie, etc. Those are the fundamentals. Like if you listen to the Kinks, they draw from a lot of that stuff too, but it works well here. Maybe that's something that modern rock acts should look into more. Getting back to basics. Lean Woman Blues is a sexy blues number with a femme fatale. I love Bolan's howls and pants and just the weird sound effects he makes with his voice. They're almost as important as the guitar work. They're almost like another instrument. Bang a gong, get it on. This is the classic glam rocker. Up there with Ziggy Stardust. You know, there's more car imagery with this. Diamond Star Halo is a brilliant line. I also love the line, "The teeth of the Hydra upon you." That's also very brilliant. Planet Queen is a great track with some excellent lyrics as well. The Planet Queen, perchance to dream, she used my head like an exploder. The Planet Queen. The world's the same, I am to blame. She used my head like a revolver. The world's the same. I think that is awesome writing. I also think the backing vocals work really well here. The song Girl, I think these days a lot of people complain about the male gaze, but I argue that great poetry often comes from that male gaze. And this is a beautiful ballad about an electric witch. It's potent, it's bohemian, reminds me a bit of my youth. The horn near the end is stellar. I think it's Burt Collins and it's a flugelhorn. Not an instrument you hear often in rock music, but it's a great choice. The Motivator is another great rocker. Life's a Gas is another classic. And again, the lyrics are amazing. I could have loved you good like a planet. I could have chained your heart to a star. And also, I could have turned you into a priestess. I could have burned your fate in the sand. It's so good. As a writer myself, I just see how hard that probably was to do. The album ends with Rip Off. I love the bridge. It's a great way to end this. The prose, the lyrics, the guitar prowess, the beats, I think they're all amazing. Moving from a 2-piece to a 4-piece was the right move. It's just dirty ass rock and roll and it works. It's mythic, it's glam, but it's sexier than Bowie. I think it has a little more attitude than Bowie. I prefer Bowie for his experimentation and ideas. T-Rex is better for rocking, in my opinion. The cons. Maybe the chord patterns and the grooves are a little too similar at times. You know, perhaps it has limited musical range. I think there's a heavy reliance on mid-tempo, kind of glam strut rhythms. I like that, but maybe that's not your thing. You could argue that it's style dominant and it's not that deep. It doesn't reinvent the wheel, but in my opinion, it works. Final thoughts. The production of Electric Warrior is stellar. Tony Visconti outdid himself. There's also some nice guests. Howard Kaylan and Marc Bolan from the Turtles do backing vocals. Rick Wakeman of Yes is on keys. Ian McDonald from King Crimson and Foreigner plays sax. Marc Bolan said that with Electric Warrior, he was writing about himself for the first time. Lyrics that he described as personal and erotic. I'm just amazed by his lyrical ability. I mean, I've loved his work for years, you know, probably 30 or 40 years. It just has this elemental simplicity that just works. Sometimes it's buried by the guitars and stuff, but if you really look into the lyrics, I just think they're great. But I think this is a classic. Along with The Slider, this is probably their best album. And I put the links below. If you have anything to say about this, go ahead. But that's all I got for today. Take care. Have a good day.